Team 4, how you guys doing? All right, let's go and take a look at your work, which I have up here, and this is fantastic work, just gorgeous. Take a look at the cover. One recommendation I have with the cover is to use the words, in the cover here, I would use the words design thinking and collaborative team project. And the reason that's pertinent is because as a portfolio reviewer or a hiring professional, when that time comes, is reviewing your student portfolios. And if this piece makes it into your student portfolio, it's really important to let that person know immediately that this is human-centered design, it's design thinking, and that it's a collaborative process. And the reason I say that is because it quite feasibly could change the way that the person interacts and views this work, knowing that it's a team project, knowing that you're viewing a human-centered design process, and knowing that you're developing the work based on design thinking. So I think that basically what I would recommend here is take human-centered design and group it with vehicle configuration kiosk, human-centered design, vehicle configuration kiosk design proposal. Then underneath here, use the words human-centered design, design thinking, and collaborative team project. Okay, now, and then here's meet the team. Good job, good job. Great images, guys. All right, typography looks great. I think that your adherence to the grid, I'm seeing 3 different grids associated with the presentation, and that's fantastic. The reason that this is relevant is because adhering to the grid and maintaining consistent page alignment to the grid helps hierarchy. So as we can see going through this presentation, there's not one page in this entire presentation where the viewer is like, okay, where do you want me to look first and where do you want me to look second? The hierarchy associated with these pages, outstanding. Again, that points to consistency in typography and consistent adherence to the grid. I'm counting 3 different grids. Forgive me if there's more, but I'm seeing this grid associated with this page, and then this page. So everything else is based off those pages, right? So this page here is a variation of the grid set up on this page. So fantastic job. Justified type sometimes causes issues, guys. And the reason I say justified type causes issues is because sometimes justified type creates these kind of unusual spaces, word spacing. We can see that, I think we can see it right here's a really good example of right there. See that space right there, that big space between the comma and process and the 2? Or is that, I'm sorry, that's a period, and then 2. So it almost looks like there's 2 spaces in there. And the reason is because justified type has no choice but to distribute spaces. So we can see, and it doesn't do a really great job, because right here we would say, okay, we got this big space here, big space here. So look at the wide spacing right here, and then look how narrow the spacing is here. So my recommendation here is to either go to left, either adjust your justified type settings, or go to left align drag right, and that will definitely adjust all of those inaccurate spaces there. Then we can see right here there are no inaccurate spaces here, because that's not justified type, right? Okay. Okay, again, so we go through, excellent, excellent, excellent. I've read through this whole thing a couple times now. One thing you might, and I mentioned this last week, is using old style numerals or reduce the type size here, because right now, as we see, our eye is drawn to here, S, X, X, 52, 34. And the reason is because the type size figures and capital letters are always a problem in typography, because they need to be adjusted. You can't set them default because they draw too much attention to themselves. So the options are to go to see if this font has open type capabilities. If so, go ahead and set these numerals to old style numerals, and set the caps to small caps instead of default caps. And if you don't have open type capabilities associated with the typeface, then what you can do is just take that and reduce that 87% by a point or 2, just so it's more consistent with the X height and the ascender height of the typeface. And then for the capital letters, use small caps. If not, again, just reduce the size a little bit. Okay. This is, I think, where it really gets. Introduction is great, and to me, I would say introduction comes up to this page here. Then we start getting into the presentation of the different ideas, and this is, I think, where things started really getting interesting. And again, typography looks great. These pages are set up beautifully. Typographic widow right there, guys. That's a word that sits on a line alone. Don't want that. You definitely want to adjust that so that that's not a typographic widow. Get at least one more word down there. Good, good, excellent. Okay, now those of you who are watching along, this is where you're in for a really big treat here. And team 3, you guys, wow, this is great. It's the next page actually. So oh, these look great. Paper Protein looks great. This video, guys, this is great. This is fantastic. I mean, this is user testing. Got an interview at the end. You're doing some ethnographic testing here. I mean, I'm able to really engage with this interview here because I can see by his reactions, I can see where he's interested, where he's kind of like not so interested. You can see by his facial expressions where he gets excited, where he doesn't. So this is really fantastic stuff. And this is basically a post-test interview with the test subject. And the value here points to ethnography, and this is really, really fantastic. And then everything before that all is all user testing. And it's a working video, guys, as you can see.
Perfect.
So fantastic job there. Okay, and then we come to our game simulator. Excellent. This is so good, guys. All right, and then we start coming to our bibliography. That's fantastic. So that wraps up the presentation, and that wraps up this critique, and I will end this saying this is fine work, just beautiful. You guys are ready to go. A couple of little adjustments here, and you're ready to go. Any questions at all, guys? It's really super important that you get with me. So let me know as soon as you can if you have any questions or you need any clarifications at all. But again, great job. Thank you very much.